Hello beauties, welcome back to my channel. As you can see, I'm doing a client makeup today. Actually, I've been doing some client makeup, so today I decided to film this one. And as you can see, I'm using the Rimmel London eyeshadow pencil that is in the shade, I think, black brown. So I just use that. I first of all made a line under and then up. Then I'm using my spoolie to just kind of brush it through, just like you can see on the video. And then to clean her under eyes, I went ahead and I mixed two concealers. I actually used the LA Girl Pro concealer in the shade Natural, and I mixed it with the shade Espresso. So, and for the top of her brow, I decided to use her foundation shade because you don't want all of that white up there. So yeah, that's what I use, her foundation shade. Then I went in with my that is the my fluffy brush from Eco Tools. Yes, my fluffy brush from Eco Tools. So I'm going in with this, my Juvia's Place The Berries palette, and the first shade that I use on her outer V is the darkest, the deepest shade in that palette. The palette does not have names on the shades, so yeah, the deepest shade in the palette. That's what I use on her outer V, and I just pat it there until I got the pigment that I wanted. And then for my next shade, I went in with my BH Cosmetic palette, and I used the shade Metamorphosis. And I also used the shade Monarch. To be able to blur the line demarcating the first shade and the second shade. So I went in with the shade Monarch to just kind of blur that line. Yeah, because we don't want those harsh lines. And yeah. Yep, so after that, I went ahead and did her not her waterline. I want to say waterline. That is not her waterline. So I did her what do we call that? Well, you can see I'm just having brain freeze right now. Yes, so I did that, and I used my Rimmel London gel liner to do that. Yes. Okay, so after the gel liner, I think I went ahead and I mixed her foundation. And for her foundation shade, initially I started with this LA Girl Pro coverage, but I think that was too light. That was the shade Coffee. I discovered that it was too light, so I went ahead and I mixed a little bit of the Maybelline New York in the shade Espresso. So I mixed those two, and that is what I used for her foundation. And I think the shade was pretty good on her. Yeah. So I went ahead and mixed those two and I applied it on her, and I'm loving the results so far. I am. So after the foundation, for some reason I discovered that I did not film the the highlight to highlight her under eyes, to conceal her under eyes. I did not film that, but I used the same shades that I used under her eyes, under her brows. I use this same mixture that I use under her brows. I used it to highlight or to conceal her under eyes. And then I went in with my Maybelline loose setting powder to set all of that concealer that she has under her eyes. Yep, I used that Maybelline loose setting powder to set to set the concealer under her eyes. And then after that, I went in with the contour, and the contour that I used for her, I used the LA Girl Pro Concealer in the shade uh, Trifle, Truffle, and the shade Truffle. So I used that, and then to set the contour, I went in with my RK by Kiss mineral powder. Yes, and I'm loving the look so far. I'm loving how the thing is, I'm loving how it's coming out. So yeah, that is the LA Girl Pro Concealer that is in the shade Truffle. So I use that to contour her face, and then I went in with the RK by Kiss, like I said, and the brush that I'm using, that's a Real Technique brush that I got from Amazon. It's a Real Technique brush that I got from Amazon. So I'm using that to contour her face, and I'll be using the same brush to set the contour. So yeah, so that is the PK by Kiss mineral powder that I'm using to set the contour. Set the contour, and you see I'll set directly under where I did the highlights. That's exactly what I'm doing. And then for her blush, I used the CoverGirl True Blend So Blush. No, CoverGirl True Blend So Flushed. That is the blush that I used on her, and I loved the outcome of that blush. And then I went ahead and contoured her nose, and I'm using the CoverGirl True Blend powder. CoverGirl True Blend powder. This one is in the shade I don't know. It doesn't say, but I see a 6 on it. Maybe it's a number 6. So that is what I used to contour her nose. Then I went ahead and set everything. I used the Milani Make It Dewy setting spray. Then I just went in again with my beauty blender to just press in that extra moisture. Then I discovered that I was losing that blush, so I went in with more of that. For her highlights, I went in with my Milani highlight palette. Yes, I discovered that when I applied on this other side of the face, it was too much, so I had to use my fingers. If you've been doing makeup, you know that once you apply highlights, to take it off, it is so hard. So I needed to use what I could, my fingers, to take off the excess highlights. Yes. And then I went in again with that my CoverGirl True Blend and set the rest of her face, any part of her face where I did not put powder. So I went in with a CoverGirl True Blend to set. And then for her lips, I went in with the Boutique lip liner. I used that to line her lip. And then for the inner part of her lip, I used the DNM lip gloss. But as you can see, I first of all went in with the Carmex Classy Lip Balm because her lips were so dry. So before I went in with the DNM lip gloss. Yep, that, and I'm so loving the look so far. And then for her hair, that hair actually was customized by me, but hey, today is not about the hair, it's about the makeup. So I went ahead and applied her false lashes, and those lashes I got them from AliExpress. I got those lashes from AliExpress. So I went ahead and applied them like you see me doing. Yeah, guys, I think that was it for the video today. Excuse my voice. So I really love the way this makeup came out. Yes, I love the way the makeup. If you haven't already, please subscribe to my channel and hit the notification bell. Thank you for watching.